Griot Audio presents Diamond Life by Aliya S. King, narrated by Patricia R. Floyd.
Chapter 1. The brick office building had just one lone car in the parking lot. Jake's driver pulled the white Maybach up to the door and made arrangements to pick him up in an hour. Along with Boo, his bodyguard, Jake eased out of the car and walked toward the front doors of the building. Head down, shielded against the bitter, whipping wind, Jake stuffed his hands deep into his pockets and kept in step behind Boo. At over 6 feet tall and nearly 200 pounds, Jake didn't need a bodyguard. For today's destination, Boo's purpose was to hide him, not protect him. He didn't really need Boo to hide him either. Jake looked nothing like he did a few months before, and it was very unlikely that anyone would recognize him. Under a dingy hat, his hair was a misshapen, uncombed afro. His eyes were blood red, concealed by sunglasses, and he was wearing a full beard. Boo held the door open, and Jake slipped inside. He took the steps 2 at a time, stopped at the office door and took a deep breath. He knocked once, and then began to turn the knob. The doctor had her back to Jake, standing at her desk and making notes on a pad. "Come inside and have a seat," she said, without turning around. Jake flopped on the couch, lifted his baseball cap, scratched his beard, and then pulled his hat back down over his eyes. He took a Poland Spring bottle out of his jacket pocket and set it on the nearby table. "How are you?" the doctor asked. "Is that the best you can do? How are you?" "I'm just starting the conversation, Jake." "You know how I am," Jake said, his voice flat. "Same as last week and the week before." "How was your sleeping? Are you still having the dreams?" Jake grimaced. Each night he relived the horror of hearing the news about his wife Kapinzi's plane crash. It was a flight he should have been on, and one he would gladly climb aboard if he could go back in time, and the outcome would be the same. As soon as he dropped off to sleep, he was standing in the hallway of their penthouse. Just as it happened in real life, Kapinzi was rushing off to catch a flight to Anguilla for a photo shoot and to check on his boy Z, who was about to get out of rehab. Just like in real life, Jake planned to go. But then he got a last-minute phone call about signing a singer named Bunny to the label. He went to Harlem to meet with the singer and chartered a plane to follow Kapinzi to Anguilla in the morning. And just as in real life, he never saw her again. That night he'd gone to bed, fully packed and ready to fly out to see Kapinzi in the morning. The phone rang in the middle of the night, and his boy Z was on the other line. He just kept saying, "Yo," over and over again. Something in his voice told Jake that whatever he couldn't get out of his mouth was going to change his life forever. He hung up on Z without hearing a single word. He called his mother. She answered the phone by screaming out, "Is it true, Jake?" And he knew immediately that something had happened to Kapinzi. After making it out of the drug game unscathed, Jake always believed that it was just a matter of time before he would have to pay the price for the dirt he'd done. The pregnant women he'd sold crack to, the weak junkies he exploited, the communities he'd helped destroy. 10 years after selling his first vial of crack, there had been no retribution from the gods. And then the music industry came calling, an entirely different world of sin. 10 years in, and he hadn't paid the price for those crimes either. Until a year ago, everything had been coming up roses. "Should have never let my guard down," Jake said.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?